there's a lot of confusion going on right now about if I'm going back to flying or if I am getting furloughed again. Good morning, everyone. I'm sure that if you have been following the news or if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that we have been having some pretty crazy weather here in Texas. It snowed here, not just a little bit, but actually quite a lot, at least for Texas standards. Oh my gosh. So today is Valentine's Day, and we just woke up to a little winter wonderland here in Texas. Oh my gosh, you guys. So it's a little bit later in the day and it is literally blizzarding out here. Look at this. This is insane. On Valentine's Day, and honestly over the past few days, most places have been closed. Eric and I were going to go to our favorite Italian restaurant for the holiday, but they were shut down due to the weather, so we ended up just staying home and making pizzas, and it was still just such a wonderful holiday. This is my breakfast sandwich. We have a bagel, sausage, egg, cheese, and bell peppers. There is nothing better than warm food on a cold day. And then in my water today, I have mixed it with this Blvd Beauty supplement. This is mixed with fiber and collagen, so it really helps improve your skin from the inside. I definitely don't get enough fiber in my diet, so having a supplement like this is really helpful because fiber really detoxifies your system, which helps prevent breakouts and improves the way that your body absorbs nutrients that supports your hair, skin, and nails. What I really like about Blvd Beauty is all you have to do is mix it in your water every day like I have, or even a smoothie. It's also organic, all natural, and it is plant-based, has 0 grams of sugar, and is also gluten-free. I received the flavor raspberry lemon, and you can use my code Julia20 to get 20% off your order at Blvd. Thank you to Blvd for sponsoring this portion of my video. I am going to finish eating my breakfast, and then we'll get on with our day. Gotta be careful, Luna, because this is about to be really slippery. So just walk really slow, though Luna doesn't know how to walk slow. Whenever you're walking on ice, you have to be super careful, especially if you're crossing the street. The sun is finally coming out, so I feel like the snow is starting to melt, but Eric was explaining it to me yesterday. I'm outside playing Frisbee with Luna, and the issue is when it snows and then it melts a little bit, but not enough to melt all the way, that water will freeze overnight, and then you just get more snow on top of that, and it just causes all kinds of problems. And that's why the roads here in Texas are especially so dangerous, because we don't have snow plows, we don't have salt to help melt the snow. Texas is not built for weather like this. And in my next vlog, I'll explain more about what's happened to us over the past few days with this snowstorm and our power going out and all of that stuff. But the one person who loves this weather is Luna. I'm back inside now, and I'm going to try to explain everything going on with my flight attendant job right now in the least confusing way possible, because even for me in the airline industry, this is all over the place and a bit confusing. I'm going to quickly take it back to the beginning. So as most of you know, back in October of 2020, I was furloughed from my job as a flight attendant because of the pandemic and the overall impact that it had on the travel industry. And obviously the airline industry was hit really hard because of the significant reduction in people traveling and flying and the travel restrictions that were put into place all across the globe. So at the time, time I was furloughed, and what that means is it's a temporary layoff. It does not mean I am fired. My airline has made it very clear that this is not permanent. This is only temporary. So fast forward to the end of December 2020, I was recalled back to my job because there was an extension to the payroll support program. This extension provided funding to the airlines across the US, and one of the agreements to this extension was that all furloughed employees must be brought back to the company, put back on payroll, and receive our health benefits and stuff like that. So a lot of you might be wondering why I am not flying, considering I was recalled back in December. There were around 8,000 flight attendants alone that were furloughed. At this time, all 8,000 of us flight attendants who were furloughed had to return all of our flight attendant equipment back to the company. This would be our crew badge, our flight attendant tablet, and a few other things. Now, for security purposes, since we were not actively flying, we are not allowed to have these items with us. So now my airline has to work to get all of that equipment redistributed back out to all 8,000 of us. And on top of that, I believe it's an FAA requirement, but I could be wrong about this. They are also requiring us to redo our background checks as well as our fingerprints test, which obviously this takes some time. Oh, and a drug test as well. All of this has to be done before we can even bid for a schedule. It's also worthy to note that as flight attendants, we don't bid for our schedules until a month in advance. So for example, if I could bid right now in February, I would be bidding for my March schedule. So here's where things get tricky. I have officially been recalled back to flying starting April 1st. And I have set up an appointment to go get my fingerprints done and pick up my flight attendant equipment next week. So I have all of that set up, which is really exciting. And you might even see some furloughed flight attendants coming back to the line in March. I believe it was 3,000 or 4,000 of them were called first to go do their background checks and fingerprinting and all of that stuff. And my company was doing everything in waves. So they were the first group to get called back, and they're scheduled to fly in March. And I was part of the second group. I am part of the second wave that is being called back, which is why my scheduled return to flying date is April 1st. However, here's where the major issue comes in. Obviously, things with the travel industry have not picked up to the level that we had hoped that they would. And unfortunately, due to that, my airline is predicting that come April, we are still going to have an overage of flight attendants. Legally, my airline had to send me a warning notice 60 days in advance if I was potentially at risk for furlough. However, I know that even with that said, things are moving in the right direction, because first time around, there were about 8,000 of us who were furloughed, and this time around, I believe it was the bottom 4,200 flight attendants received warning notices. So that is a significantly less amount of flight attendants who are receiving warning notices as compared to back in October. Unfortunately, in my seniority range, I do fall in that bottom 4,000. So there is a really high chance that if there is not another extension of the payroll support program from our government, that I will yet again be furloughed. However, the reason why they are still processing us and wanting us to go and pick up our equipment and all of that good stuff is because just in case, if at my seniority furlough doesn't hit me, or if there is an extension of the payroll support program, they want us ready to go back out onto the line. So either I could be flying again on April 1st, or I could be furloughed, which this is all just super ironic considering that is April Fool's Day. Now, if I was hired in early 2016, I believe I would have been safe from furlough, whether there was an extension or not. It just, unfortunately, I wasn't hired then. I was hired in 2018, and I'm just within one of the most junior groups of flight attendants within my company. So in all honesty, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. This is just the situation. This is what's going on. These are the facts, and no matter what, we are going to remain positive, take everything one day at a time, and just keep on moving forward. So yeah, that's all that I have on this topic, and right now it's just going to be a waiting game. This morning, Eric and I woke up and we have no power. Thank goodness the gas station is open and we can get something to drink. This is crazy. I have never experienced anything like this in my life.